Alright guys, I'm Clank and this is going to be the first video on my channel. It's some Destiny beta gameplay. I know the beta has been over for nearly a month now, but with just over 3 weeks until the game comes out, people are starting to talk yet again about Destiny, so I thought I'd bring out this video telling you what I thought was good and bad about the actual beta and what I expect the actual game to be like. Quick note about the game you're watching, it is some competitive multiplayer on the moon map. I'm not quite sure what the map is actually called. But it's a very slow game. I get a few kills, I get like a 2 KD, it's not the best. But yeah, it just kind of, I chose it because I felt it showed off most of what you can do in the Destiny multiplayer. You'll see here I died to an interceptor, which is what I'm probably going to start talking about. They've said they're going to patch the interceptor for the actual game. If you played the beta, you'd know it's actually ridiculously overpowered. Pretty much is, whoever has one of them can just absolutely tear, as long as they don't come across another person's interceptor. They'll be pretty much grand to get probably some ridiculous kill streak. So yeah, they said they're going to lower the fire rate and blast radius on the interceptor for when the game actually comes out, which I feel is much needed. In the beta it really was just so overpowered. But yeah, they're going to do that. They've talked about maybe only putting one on the map, but I think that's a bad idea, because just one team will get it and they'll just destroy the other team with it. Like, even with it being patched, I still think it'd be overpowered just for one team to have it. It would really unbalance the game. Other than that, I feel the game is, well, very good on multiplayer. I think its simplicity is probably what helps it the most. You basically choose between one of 3 kinds of primary weapon and one of 3 kinds of special weapon, and then I think 1 or 2 kinds of heavy weapon, which I feel really helps the game. It's not complicated, you don't have to work out what attachment does what, because there is no attachment, which I feel really helps the game. One thing I will say about guns in the game is they do have this kind of weapon rounding or weapon averaging, I'm not sure what they call it, but basically what it does is it's whoever is the best in the lobby. They kind of get an average of everyone's gun in the lobby, not whoever's best. They basically just take an average of everyone's weapon strength in the lobby, and then they nerf the best, whoever's the best gun, and buff whoever's the worst gun. So like everyone's kind of got the same damage and stuff on their gun. So basically they make the game a lot more balanced, it's a lot more skill based. I feel this sort of doesn't reward people who grind the game out though. Like, I say I spend about 10 hours in fucking explore missions, just getting stuff, and it doesn't really reward me for that work if the gun I spent like 5 hours trying to get is then nerfed, so pretty much all I have is like a faster reload time than someone else. That is, I think, kind of counterproductive when you're trying to get people to play your game out a bit more. What I will say though is Iron Banner, this was this kind of special tournament, special event thing in the game. If you played the beta you'll know it was pretty much, I think, one of the best things in the beta. What it done is it removed weapon rounding, and so then it sort of rewarded the more, I don't know, dedicated, die-hard player. The person who played the beta more, who had the better guns, was rewarded a lot more in Iron Banner than, say, someone who just played the game casually, occasionally picked it up, wasn't really playing it too much. But yeah, I felt that was really good. Like, me and my friends noticed a severe difference from regular competitive to Iron Banner competitive, just in how fast people were dying, how good our guns were, and how easy it was to win games. Like, I think we lost 1 game in our Iron Banner tournament and won like the rest. It was so easy. It was really, once you had a 6-man party who were like kind of dedicated, die-hard, well, no, I wouldn't even say die-hard, people who grind out the game, you could pretty much wreck anyone, because it was just a 6-man party is going to be better than just a team of randoms anyway. With a 6-man party with good guns, you can just destroy the enemy. It's just so easy to win games. We're winning games like 10, 15,000 points. So easy. So yeah, I did like that. I liked how the Iron Banner was there to reward people who grinded the game out a lot more. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be it when I'm talking about the competitive side, because competitive in the game isn't actually the main focus. The main focus is kind of this cooperative campaign, this sort of always online social element. It's kind of, I don't know how to describe it. I think it's very good. Basically they build up like these maps which are absolutely massive, like properly massive maps, and you get like, I think it's like 6 or 8 missions. I think in the beta it was 6, but they're probably gonna put like 8, I think, on some planets. Yeah, they put like all these missions on the planet. They're all on the same map essentially, and you just go and do something different each time. Which some people are saying, like Drifter put up a video yesterday saying he didn't like that. I do. I kind of like the idea that you can just go off and go in a certain plane, recover some loot, and then you go on, like on the mission. You can just go around and explore for a bit. You don't actually have to go straight and do the mission, which I sort of like, and you kind of get to know like the best spots and stuff to do stuff on the mission. He said it was kind of repetitive and bad that you just kept going back, and he didn't like how there's so much movement in it. I disagree. I think it's great. I think it's a lot less linear than some campaigns where you go on, you're told to go straight, you go straight, and that's simply it. You like basically just goes get to here, and then there's a load of enemies in the way, and you just kill them, get to there, and that's the mission done. I feel the way the maps are so big and you're so free to explore stops how linear the game can become. Makes it a lot less boring. Also makes it handy for afterwards if you need to grind out, get some good guns. You can just go back on the mission, go around, explore, try find loot chests, kill enemies again. Yeah, it's just, I feel it helps the replayability of the map and game in general. And they have said there's going to be, I think it's 148 activities starting off in the Destiny campaign. I think that's a low number. I expected there to be like 300. To be honest, I feel that's very low. It's probably why I'm going to go with the copy of the game that comes with the expansion pass. I'm not quite sure what it's called. It's called First Guardian or something. I'll probably get that. And look at this right here. How is this not a kill? Anyway, yeah, so you're going to, I'm going to get that, but I feel the game, single player, is going to be a lot of fun. I feel like it really is going to reward people who play the game a lot more, as opposed to the casual gamer. Like, the people that grind out missions to get the best guns will definitely be rewarded in the cooperative side of campaign. It's just going to be so easy to kill stuff when you have the best weapons that you get from grinding out probably the early missions. Like, if you grind out the early missions, start getting the rare stuff in the Explorers on the likes of the Cosmodrome, which was the first map. It was in the beta. I'd say if you start grinding out that Explorer, you get some good weapons off that. The next mission will be considerably easier than if you just go and play through straight away. Like, if you take your time and like earn the best stuff, it'll be probably a lot more rewarding than if you just try speedrun the campaign and just play the game for the sake of playing it. If you actually get into the campaign, start exploring, looking for stuff, I'd say the game will probably be a lot more rewarding. They have talked about a 10-year game cycle for this game. Now, I think that'll probably be a good thing. I like the idea that I buy a game and it's going to be supported for 10 years. Like, when you think of Call of Duty, there's a new one each year, and then they kind of just stop support on the old ones, with the exception of Black Ops 2 this year, which I feel is just because Ghost was so bad and they knew everyone was going back to Black Ops 2, that they actually started bringing out more stuff for it. But I like the idea of a 10-year game cycle. Just the idea of me buying a game now and then I won't have to buy like Destiny 2 or whatever for 10 years. I think that's very good. Like, I like the idea that the DLC will be coming out for 10 years, so it's like, if I like the game, I'll just keep buying the DLC. I won't have to buy a new game. Whereas if I don't like the game or I stop playing it for a while, I just don't buy the DLC until I go back on the game. It's, I don't know, it appeals to me. Drifter said it was a bad idea in his video yesterday. I'll leave a link to that in the description actually, but I think it's a good idea. I like the basis behind that. I also like, if you go to the tower, there's kind of social elements where there's a lot more people in there with you. It's not just you in there. I also like how the stores work in the actual tower, how the stock refreshes and it's not all there all the time. I feel, especially with titles and emblems, that's a good idea. I like how you kind of have to check back, and then if you find a title, or yeah, it's kind of like a backer. I'm not quite sure what they call it in this game, but I'm basically going to call it the title and emblem from basically Call of Duty. It's like the background behind your name that appears in multiplayer, and well, basically just the game. But yeah, I like how that's not always there all the time, so it's like, if you find a good one, that it'll disappear off the store again in 6 hours, so it's not like everyone just has the same title and emblem. Everyone just finds the best one and just starts wearing that. I like how it sort of rewards you for checking back now and then. Like, if you find one that's rare and good, like on this, I'm using a bunny rabbit. I've seen, I think, one other person with a bunny rabbit background, because it was like $3 grand. It was the second day of the beta it came out, and I bought it, and I don't think I've seen one other person putting fire beta with it, and I don't think I've ever seen it in the shop again for the beta. I think that's really like sort of rewarding the way it's on the shop once, and then if you don't get it then you'll probably have to wait like another month to get it. So it really rewards people to check back and buy one that they like when it's there. It makes it more kind of exclusive. It's not like
enemy captured.
I'm going to compare this to Call of Duty again. I know I keep doing it, but everyone just tends to have the same one. For instance, I don't know, like with the exception of sort of like DLC, everyone just goes it's like the same one, and they think it's good. Like everyone on Call of Duty goes to that kind of rainbow background you get for getting the 10th character, unless they have a DLC one. So it kind of prevents that, the way everyone has the same one. That is appalling. But yeah, I also like how the stock refreshes in the gun store, it sort of prevents this whole everyone using the same gun, because if a really good gun is on the store one day, it'll disappear again. I think it's like 3 or 4 hours. It might even be 6. I'm not quite sure. I think it's 3 though. How often the stock refreshes in the gun store, so it really does kind of make it that not everyone will be using the same gun on Destiny as opposed to other games. The way it's always refreshing, it'll probably encourage people to experiment with their guns a lot more. You know, try something new and all that. You know, I think it's a good idea the way the stock refreshes, and it's harder to get items that everyone else is using. It makes the game a lot more unique. It makes
Zone A.
Well, I think it just makes the game a lot more unique, basically. I also like the character customization in this game. I think that's actually insane how much they've put on, like on a first-person shooter as well. Like I know on third-person games, like I kind of understand character customization is needed, because like you're essentially looking at the back of your character the whole time. But on Destiny, it's a first-person game, so you barely ever see your character. Like there, when I especially when I've seen it, which is a bit hypocritical, but yeah, pretty much is. The gameplay has just ended here. So point is, I think the campaign on this game is going to be incredible. I think the competitive side is going to be good. I like the simplicity of it. I know everyone keeps complaining about 30 frames per second, but I think it's going to be great. And I like all the little bits in between. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like, and thank you for watching. I've been Clank, and goodbye.